Hello again, welcome back. My name is Wayne Marinovich. I'm a resilience coach on the channel, and this is another one of my 5-minute takes. Try to keep it to 5 minutes. I never do. What irritates me is many things in the world, which is why I do the 5-minute take. Today's topic is very simply static people in a dynamic world. It's very obvious to us that shit's coming. And I find it quite staggering that so many people are just sitting around on their asses. Really, as a species, we become fat, complacent, and very, very spoiled, I think. Previous civilizations never had it as good as we've had it. And yeah, we have our daily issues. I'm not talking about the grind and all the taxes and the stress we have every day. But we definitely have it as a whole easier than our previous civilizations do. And does it mean, I think I've got a lot of other videos on the channel about this, does it mean that we're coming to an end as a civilization? And I say, yeah, probably yes, because all of them do, right? So why does static people grate me so much? So what are they? Well, I think static people are content, or they're stuck, or they don't want to change. But they tend to talk about it a lot and moan about their life without really doing anything. Day to day we all have issues. Like I said, but overall it's being pretty easy. So we can order anything with a click of a mouse. You can literally stay in your house permanently and never leave, and order everything. Yet we moan about it. We are ungrateful for it. We don't seem to see the value or the wonders of the joy outside anymore. Because we're happy and content to be low energetic, static people. Static people come from two areas that I can work out. It's those that have aspired to something and they've achieved it, and now they just settling down. And I understand that. Look, I'm not going to moan about that. And then there's those that have aspired and failed and then sat back and looked at the last seen a bit of success they've had, and they settle. And I think on our social treadmill, which is what we have, is an earn to consume lifestyle. We know that there's this point in life called retirement. So I see a lot of people just sitting down waiting to retire, and it stymies me. I don't understand. Maybe it's because I have no intention of retiring. Or why would you? I've known of too many people who, once they hit retirement, their quality of life drastically declines. So maybe there's a fear inside me that I don't want to end up like some of those people. I think the key thing here is to understand that the purpose of life is to reach your full potential. So why would you hit one goal and go, oh, that's me done? I think the quote William James, who always said, compared to what we ought to be, we are only half awake. And I think that's quite profound in its knowledge that we have to wake up our bloated selves. We've become overfed, overstimulated, over-therapized, over-entertained. And so we're content to sit back and let life come to us, or let life happen to us, which is not what the purpose of humanity or Homo sapiens are on this planet. As a coach on this channel, I try, and I hope if you watch a lot of videos that you will start to get that driving and striving for potential, your full potential, as opposed to other things, is the main goal here. I'm a cheerleader. That's all a coach is. I'm not here to do your push-ups for you. I'm not here to be a shoulder to cry on. I'm here to try and dig inside you and find the things that inspire you, that want you to move on. And that's what this is all about. So, one of the things that really gets to me is about static people is they're constantly complaining without action, right? Moan about their lives, their careers, their relationships. They enjoy complaining, maybe because as victims they get attention, but they fail to move on from the situation. And I think victimhood generally always, encourages stagnation. So, yes, I get it. They're scared of discomfort. We've made comfort a god in our worlds, and we idolize this notion of a work-life balance, but that's just bullshit, right? We prioritize comfort and familiarity We avoid challenges or hard things, even though that's where the growth is. We stay clear of things we're scared to do, even though that's where our potential comes down. And particularly, we avoid new experiences which fire up the neurons in our brain and keep us young, as opposed to sitting and not doing anything. I think another thing that gets to me is this resistance to change. So the static human will cling to old routines, hold on to old habits and beliefs that keep them safe, but might no longer be effective. We hold on to that 20 years of weight gain because 1 year of hardship to lose it is uncomfortable. And I think but then we'll moan and we'll groan and we'll complain about, oh my God, I'm overweight, I really want to change. No, you don't want to change. You're not prepared to actually do the work to change. And so you're naturally telling yourself these lies. And I mean, they blame the external factors. Everything's outside, right? The economy, their boss, their partner, their friends, the family. They blame everything, but it's never them. And that's something I think that taking self-responsibility in these worlds, is paramount here. Lack of curiosity gets to me. It's something I've been driven by. Static people have closed minds to anything new. Just, no, I'm not going to do that. It's new. So they don't seek out anything new. They don't learn new skills. They don't question even their own beliefs. They question other people's beliefs, but they don't really look at themselves. So basically, they've determined that, well, as Dan Coe said it, problems are infinite. Therefore, solutions should be infinite, right? And this is something we don't understand. And I think intellectually they've stagnated. Professionally, they might have stagnated as they've been stuck in their days since college and things like that. And I think part of it is our passive consumption of entertainment, right? Books now. We don't even read books. We listen to books, right? One's active, one passive. Binging, right? We go from binging on social media or watching videos. Thanks for your support, by the way. We're binging on all kinds of things that don't fire our brain up. So we've lost this journey of learning, of discovering, of having our brains create things for us to do. And I think that's already, we're seeing it in children now, that unable to come up with ways to entertain themselves. So I think, a lot of it is everything we see nowadays. We're told, take the big step. And I do agree in certain instances you need a big change. If you're really stagnant, do the big leap. Don't try and do the 5 kilometer, aim for the marathon, right? That's a big leap. That your mindset has to be different. And I think one of my concerns in the world is a physical health thing. We've normalized being fat and obese. And I'm sorry if I don't use the right words. That if you get sensitive about it, I don't care. So that because of throughout youth we've normalized that we labor into midlife and then into old age. Right? So we're a burden on society because we don't look after ourselves, because we're not striving for our full potential. We are now static people. And I think one of the key things, to help people, to coach people, is you have to find a desire to change. You have to find an excitement, a new purpose that moves you off that couch. And you have to do it now. I mean, become a dynamic person, not a static person. And that means high energy. That means setting yourself some tough goals and going for them and smashing some and not worrying if you fail. Embrace challenges in your life. I think that's one of the things that people don't do is embrace challenges. I try and learn something new every year, right? I fail often. This year, again, for the 10th time in 150 years, I'm going to try and get the guitar and get better at it. I probably will get further down the line, but it's the trying, it's pushing that. I will again set myself the goal of reading 40 books every year. It takes time, but it's my goal to chase your potential, right? You can't find your potential. You can't live a good life from your couch or from your place of status or entropy, okay? Start replacing I can't with why the fuck not, right? Finally, I want you to, if you are this person, get off your fat ass. Come on, become a dynamic person with a verve for life. Become resilient and adaptable in a world that's starting to look like there's some serious dark clouds, building up. Only if you're healthy, only if you're fit, only if you're dynamic, only if you really, really want yourself to get better, will you become a better version of yourself. And I think that's, it's something that I really wish on everybody, is to stop being this version 1.0, right? Stop trying to change that person, become a different person. And that's it for today. As always, please like, subscribe, leave some comments. It tells Google that you're enjoying it. And always, I wish you peace and great beer.